Well, Kim's laughing, so that must mean we're on.
It's time to go, baby.
It's time to go. All right, so we need to tell people what's up here, like what's happening and transpiring, because our lives are crazy right now. Like they're crazy.
So last week we had a whole mishap of scheduling situations happening.
Hot
which
Mess
if you
Express.
Listen to the brief little, you did a great job though, Jordan. I'm proud of you.
Oh, that means a lot.
With the little snippet, but there was a scheduling mishap, and like I was gone, like literally until last night, all week, and so like it wasn't happening, and then today I was getting ready to come in and record. I got ready and everything. Like I was sitting in my pajamas, and I was like, Jordan doesn't deserve pajamas. He deserves like a nice, respectful outfit. And then I realized my car is not with me right now.
And you go to like leave, and you're like, oh no, this is a tragedy.
I opened my garage door for my kitchen, and I was like, oh
hello.
No.
Well, it was really weird because I got the text message like 2 minutes to go. And I'm like, first of all, it's good to know that you leave 2 minutes before we start podcasting. Like that's a joyful thing. And then number two, I was like, uh-oh, here we go. Like it's not going to happen. And sure enough, like you're like, my car's getting its oil changed. And I was like, hey, my car's getting its oil changed. So
I was staring into the abyss of the emptiness of my garage, but I'm still here
because
here. I'm not in my car, unlike the other time that I wasn't there.
Which just kind of works. So what we realized is like I have 2 studios. I have one in my office at church. I have one at home, and then Kim also has a setup at her house. So
I have a little bit of a setup.
So Kim's at home.
My setup's right next to my dog.
And
she's gonna be driving me
that
crazy.
Was a cage. You just rattled the cage.
That was a cage because she's driving me crazy. That was just a little love tap of like, hey girl. Stop it. I don't want to listen to the sounds of you licking your paw or whatever it is for the next hour.
Yeah, so the audio is way better than if you guys are like long-term listeners. It's way better than what it was when Kim was in her car that one time. So and we can still see each other because we're technically on a Google Meet. So
we can.
There's that.
It's working.
But if
Modern
this is
technology, man.
I feel like we're back in COVID days. Stay at home mandate. Don't come outside. Stay at home. Anyway, if this is your first time, hey, welcome to Grease and Grace. My name is Jordan, and Kim is on the other end of the line. So,
hi.
So yeah, man, we're gonna mix it up. It's super weird. I don't know how to like word this. Have you ever had an off day, Kim?
An off day?
Yeah. Like where things aren't working right, your body doesn't respond the way it's supposed to respond, you can't formulate words, everything that you do just feels like it falls flat. Have you ever had one of those?
Yeah, are you having one of those days?
I'm having one of those weeks.
Oh no. A whole week of that.
Yesterday, I was like, in the morning yesterday, I was praying and I was like, Lord, just give me some opportunities to like share you, and just spread the love of Jesus around. He gave me 6 and I batted a solid 0, 0, 0.
Oh no.
I was 0 for 6 yesterday. We get to the end of the day. Bethany looks at me. She's like, hey, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm not okay. She's like, why not? I was like, because I failed today. I saw so many people come in front of my life, and I could have just blessed them. I could have looked at them and been like, hey, it's so good to see you. And it was fall on your face. Like, I don't want to talk to you. You frustrate me. I frustrate you. Probably more of like, I'll frustrate you. So it was just like,
yeah.
And then today it happened again. Ugh.
And then Kim messed it up.
But you know what I'm saying? Like there's this human side of things where you're like, why doesn't it work? Why does my body not do what it wants to do? My mind not do what it wants to do?
It's probably honestly more your mental state than it is anything else. You know what I mean? Like there are definitely days where like I need to get somewhere and there's somebody like Kathy is driving 12 miles per hour in a 55 and I'm like, yo girl, I got places to be and you are stopping my roll. And so like there's definitely those and I can relate to those, but yeah, I have definitely had days where just ain't nothing happened. But see, I can empathize. I'm on the polar opposite this week.
Living the dream.
I am living on a high, let me tell you. It's been a great week for me.
Well, I'm glad you're on I'm glad you're on the opposite side of things. I mean, good for you.
Just to rub salt.
Yeah. Like I'm over here dying, and you're like kicking me in the floor. Like get up.
Like, oh yeah, well, how's that feel? Because I'm right on top.
Man, it's just one of those things. Well, and the best part was like Bethany looked at me the other day, and she's like, "This is yesterday," and she said, "Probably nobody noticed." She's like, nobody probably had any idea. I'm like, but I did, but I knew what was going on. So anyway.
Well, hey, there's nowhere to go but up. Right?
All right, and that's where we're going. We're gonna go up here right now. As you know, every week, new topics, new grease, new grace. That's where we're living at. Sometimes it's a current event. Sometimes it's pop culture. Sometimes, it's just a thing that we look at each other and we're like, we got to discuss this. We need to bring this to light and talk about this. And we're not talking about our social or mental health today because that's not it.
We're not.
Today we're talking about.
We are talking. So maybe a month and a half ago.
Here it is.
You posted a picture with your second sweet, wonderful daughter smiling with some metal in her mouth.
It's about to get real.
Ooh, what a great topic to talk about, just dentist things. And one of the first episodes actually of our podcast.
That is true.
I was talking about dental stuff and I was like, this keeps popping up. I think that we just need to have a conversation about it because like that keeps coming up. And so I don't know how you're going to define that. Dentistry. What is dentistry? Because if this is your first time, I'll while Jordan is trying to figure out what he's gonna look up, I'll let y'all know that how we kind of formulate our podcast is we have our definition of whatever topic it's going to be, right? And so Jordan always lays that down, and he makes sure that Google fills him with the right words to say.
I'm ready. I got it. I got it on lock. It's ready to go.
And then we go into the grease. And then we go into the graceful side. And so we're going to grease and grace, dentistry and orthodontics. We really should have had like a dental hygienist on.
If you're a dentist, I'm just going to apologize before we even get started because we're not friends. Like, I mean, my dentist thinks we're friends, but and full transparency, a friend is a very loose word. We would, if I saw him out, I'd be like, that guy's my dentist. But, we'd be cordial with each other. But I don't.
Would you recognize him as your dentist? Do you know what I'm talking about? When you see people that are like outside of what you normally see them,
it's the worst,
like,
isn't it?
He doesn't have his dental coat on, and so you're just like, and I'm staring at him, and you're like, I know you.
Yeah, you've had your hands up in my mouth. Like, that's weird. Actually, one of our friends is what do you call the person that's not the actual dentist? They're like the dentist assistant, the hygienist. Yeah. I can't look at her like ever the same because I'm like, you had your hands in my mouth. That's weird. Like, and to her, it's no big deal. Yeah. Like, she's like, what?
Well, see, we're going. Wait. We gotta hold it back because we're already moving.
We're already moving. All right, so let me give you the definition. All right, so dentistry is also known as dental medicine or oral medicine. It is the branch of medicine focused on the teeth, gums, and mouth, which consists of the study, diagnosis, prevention, management, and treatment of diseases, disorders, and condition of the mouth. Most commonly focused on dentition. Dentition is not what you get in junior high school. Dentition is the development and arrangement of teeth, the way that they are situated in regards to your mouth. Dentistry may also encompass other aspects of the craniofacial complex, including a huge word that I cannot pronounce, which is a joint, and a practitioner, which is called a dentist. That is dentistry. Dun, dun, dun. Wow.
That is a professional.
Yeah, it's super weird. I didn't know like dentistry. This is kind of like one of those like whoa moments is like they specialize also in like the tongue.
What?
Mm-hmm. So if you ever like go to the dentist and they like clean your teeth or whatever, they also check out your tongue. So they have to know a lot about like the entire mouth, the way the tongue works and all that other stuff. So my oldest daughter, she actually, when she got her braces, they put this little thing on the top back of her two front teeth that like kept her tongue back because she would constantly like push on it. So
her two front teeth?
Yeah. So we called it the fangs, but it was really kind of like this pointy thing. And every time her tongue touched it, it would like move its way back. So muscle memory kicked in. So they just took it off actually, and we asked her like, "Is it weird that it's gone? Because it's been there for like 2 years." And she was like, "No, not really," but she just got so used to it, like being there. She used to stab grapes with it.
Oh, that's super weird.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dentistry is like such a weird thing to me. Like, how did it get started? You know what I mean? Like, who was the first person who was like, "Man, your mouth is janky.
We gotta fix that.
We gotta fix that." You know what I mean?
There is like all things started like that, right? Like you know, like your finger is like crooked. We should fix that. You know, there's
rebend that straight. I think our fingers are supposed to be straight.
There's that one person that you have in your life that just always states the obvious, and they just look at you like, "Hey, man, your hair's a hot mess. Like we gotta go to the hairstylist and get that thing figured out." You know, there's always been one person that just kind of points out the obvious.
The first person.
And that was the dentist. Well, and then here's the other thing with that whole thing is who's the first person that like lets them at it? Like, "Hey man, your teeth are pretty jacked up." And it's like,
have you seen like some of the stuff that they used to do?
Oh yeah, you should go back to history. It's crazy.
So once upon a time when I went to New Orleans, Josh and I we went through a museum of like all old like medical things. Like it was super cool. It's super out of character because neither of us are like doctors,
right.
But it was just the coolest thing. But like you see some of the things that they used to do to people back in the day, and like they didn't have the numbing medicine. And I'm like, you used to do that while Bill was awake?
Oh yeah, and a lot of liquor,
like a root canal.
A lot of liquor. They just get people totally drunk and then just like go to town.
Isn't that how like Coca-Cola started?
Yeah, like some of that stuff.
As a what you call it, like an elixir.
It just blows my mind that people are like even like medicine wise, like if you look at like heart doctors and stuff like that, people are like, "Oh, your heart hurts. Let me cut you open, and we're gonna see how this works." I don't think that's healthy.
Let me just burn the very bottom of it.
Yeah, like that's super weird, man. That's super weird. Man.
Well, yeah. So what's your grease about it?
Oh,
I mean, you were moving in.
Before we even get started, we need to establish: do you like the dentist or do you not like the dentist? We need to start there. So after we figure out because then you can be like, "Oh, that makes sense because he doesn't like the dentist," or whatever the case is. So I'm gonna ask you that question first, Kim. Like, do you like the dentist or do you not like the dentist?
Good call. Well, okay, so I have and I feel like this is probably the majority of everybody because like I have what do we want to call it? A complicated relationship with the dentist. So
that's what your Facebook status is. It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Your MySpace page is it's complicated.
It's complicated. Yeah. So like growing up, my grandparents had a family friend who was a dentist.
Okay.
His name was Gene. He was wonderful. Like he was so nice. And so I never really had a problem until maybe like 4th or 5th grade. I had to have, I think, a cavity filled or something like that. And he needed to numb my mouth, obviously. You know, like I don't want to be feeling that. I don't want to feel the drills just in my... I don't want to feel that. And so
I hate that sound.
So
oh my word.
He numbed me.
Okay.
But I don't know if I just like require a little bit more. There's people who like require a little bit more anesthesia.
Yeah, because they'll always they're like, "Can you feel this? Can you feel this?" You know, whatever the case is.
So I don't know if I just like could continue to feel it. So he just kept like shooting up my jaw with more Novocaine or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I developed an allergic reaction.
Oh,
and
no.
when he put it into my jaw, I swear I felt the burning of 1,000 knives go from my jaw.
Oh, that's
he hit
good.
A nerve and it went down into my toes, like full body shudder through to my toes. And it hurt so bad. I probably should have trigger warning for that. But, and so ever since then, I don't have a problem with the dentist, but I don't like to get numbed.
Right.
Because I can remember that feeling so vividly.
Yeah.
And so like I don't have a problem.
Do you still go to the same dentist or no?
No. Oh, no.
Like that was like a you're done, like a one and done thing.
No. Oh, well, no, we still went just now. He's very retired. His son actually took over, but like it's like 45 minutes away. And I don't have any reason to go to that town. So like I'm not just gonna up and go. So, but now at the beginning of this podcast, I had to get a ton of dental work done because I hadn't gone to the dentist for some time.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like the dentist, it's that I don't like getting numbed in my mouth. I think it's super cool to feel the drilling, actually. Like,
oh my word.
Whenever they were like working on my mouth, I was like, can I see it? I want to see it. It's so, I love it. It tastes weird. Your teeth taste weird. Your bones taste weird. But your teeth are bones, man.
So okay, so let's do it on a scale 0 to 10. Like 0 is I absolutely hate it. It's the worst thing ever on planet Earth. 10 would be it's the best thing. I would do this every day if I could.
I'm not gonna like selectively go to the dentist.
I want to do this every single day.
I would give it like a solid 6.5.
What? That's so high.
Because, ooh, baby, man, my teeth, they feel so nice and clean. I be walking around smiling at everybody like, look at how clean these pearly whites are.
Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely.
I have a buddy of mine, and he, like, loves going to the dentist. He loves, like, the feeling, like, when his teeth are cleaned and stuff like that. And I'm just like...
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he would be like, he's like, sign me up, like, I mean, he's a solid 8 when it comes to the dentist. Like, yeah, let's do this thing. And I'm just going, I don't think that's okay. But
yeah, I'm like almost at a 7. Like, I'm at like a 6.85.
Man, good for you.
I love the feeling of having clean teeth. I love the feel. Like, I know it's weird. I like the grinding. Like when they're like putting pressure on my teeth, I'm like, oh, get it all out.
Okay, well, I'm on the other spectrum then. Like,
you're like, ew, that's a horrible opinion.
So if you are up there, because we already knew this was going to happen today, right? I mean, of course, because you're having a great week and I'm sitting over here on the struggle bus. I am probably at a 2.5. Like maybe a 2.
No.
Oh man, I cannot stand the dentist. I hate it. I think I had a problem when I was a kid. Like I think something happened in transpired.
That's where all of it stems from.
Yeah, and I think they try really hard now when you are a kid to not have that like take place, have that like traumatic experience. Because I've watched the dentist with my daughters, and they've been very, very, very like particular with like how they treat them and what that looks like, and like how they go through some of that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, all that to say, that is something that I think comes into play with it, because when I go back there, I just immediately think that they're gonna kill me.
You hear the drilling and you're like, oh no,
like I don't like to chew on my bones.
You don't have like anything in particular that like makes you dislike them. You just like, you don't like it.
I don't like the feeling. I don't like there. Okay, so there's a lot of variables in this, like, and this ties into the grease side of things. So if we're gonna go into like the greasy aspects of it,
moving on in, baby.
There is, first of all, I think there should be an agreement at the very front of the dentist that says like, I will not talk to you while you are here. Like just I don't want to talk to you. I mean, you could be the nicest person ever. You and I could maybe have like a great cordial lunch, and things would be great. And I understand in regards to humanity, we have to be cordial with each other. But here's the deal. You're about to be very intimate with me in regards to like my mouth area. And I'm going to let you put your hands in my mouth and like all that other stuff. And I need you to just not say a word. So
you don't think that would be more awkward though?
Not if I signed an agreement at the very start.
You're listening to like your spit get sucked.
So like if like I sat down and they're like, oh hey Jordan, and I said hi, that's it. Like that's it. It's not like, oh how's life going, blah blah blah. I am extremely uncomfortable already laying in this chair. That's my other grease. I have so many greases, Kim, so I'm going to try to like keep these like, because I hate the dentist. When they tip me back in the chair, I get dizzy. So when I go back, like I'm way back in that chair, and I just start to like get really, really dizzy, and then I'm like claustrophobic, and then they're like, did you have a good week? I'm like, why are we talking? There's no talking. Do what you need to do, get out of there, and let me go home. That's what I want.
Rhonda, I'm just here to get my teeth cleaned.
100%. Like, why are we having a conversation? There is no point in talking to me right now. I do not want to talk to you. I do not want, like, I'm sure you're a great person, and I can't reiterate that enough, that you, I'm sure, like, have great ideas on how the world should work and that we should populate the ocean. Like, I think that's great. I agree. But right now, my teeth need done, and just walk it through.
Just make it happen.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't like when, like, they're in. So the most recent, like, couple of times that I've gone, the dental hygienist, she's a millennial. I'm a millennial. She was playing great music in her little, like, cubicle. I don't know if you call them cubicles. I don't know what you call them. Like,
wait, isn't that weird though? Like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I did, because isn't it weird that you're in that phase of life where somebody does something and they're the same age as you? I think that's super weird about the age I'm in life. Like, whether it's a teacher or whatever, like, because it used to be like they were young, and now it's like you have experience. Like, you've been doing this for a long time, and I trust you with that, but, like, your level of expertise, because, you know, when you first, like, start, like, a job or a gig or whatever, like, we're all stupid, so, like, whatever.
We're all faking it till we're making
it. Yeah, we have no idea. But now we're in the phase where it's like, oh, like, you've been doing this for a significant amount of time. I think that's interesting. Go ahead.
Like, you got some big brains right there.
Yeah, so like you know what you're doing.
I don't have a problem with that. My thing is, like, you know, as a kid, your teachers are just at school, like, the end. And so it's super weird when you see them, like, out and you, like, hear a snippet of them, like, doing something on the weekend, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah.
What? You do things? Kind of a thing.
Why are you outside?
Now I'm on the opposite side where I'm, like, part of these people's lives. So, like, my mom is a teacher.
Right.
And so, like, I'm part of somebody else's teacher's life. You know what I mean?
Yep,
and that's
100%.
super weird to me. Or, like, I have another friend she's a teacher, and, like, we are stupid together. We're like, we're idiots. And then I'm like, oh, you are a teacher in real life.
Right.
You teach kids things, and I am a chef who professionally handles sharp knives all of the time. Like,
actually, feed people. Like, yeah. Imagine that.
And so there's, like, this moment where I'm like, oh, that's right. Like, your professional life, you're almost a completely different person. I have another friend who's in sales, and, like, one time I was visiting her, and she had a phone call while I was in the car with her.
Here it goes.
And I was like,
you handled your stuff.
Who is this?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying.
So that's super weird. But, like, yeah, so I had, like, I didn't know the dental hygienist, but, like, we were vibing, right? We were just chatting. She had cats. I had Steve, my cat.
Yeah.
And, like, we were just talking about things. And then she would, like, ask me a question and then, like, immediately dive into my mouth. And I'm like, girl, I'm gonna answer you. Like, I understand we have appointments, but don't ask me, like, so tell me the inner workings of your mind as I'm fishing for whatever they're looking for.
That's what I'm saying. And that's where I get super weird, because I'm like, let's just sign this non-disclosure agreement or whatever, where you and I don't talk to each other ever. And when we're done, like, hey, when we're done and we're checking out, like, that's fine. Like, absolutely.
I couldn't sit in silence. Oh man. I was somewhere, and I was getting my first facial, actually, just to, like, see what that felt like. It was nice, but she talked the whole time, and I talked to fill in the spaces, and people are like, you guys talked? And I was like, well, yeah, because it was quiet otherwise. I'm not a quiet person. So, man. Shocker, I know. Did you have braces?
Okay, so both my kids have had braces. One is currently in braces, and the other one's out. I have a filling in between my two front teeth. So if that filling were to come out, like, I have a pretty significant gap between my two front teeth. But that's it. And I've had it forever, and it's one of those things where I'm constantly worried that it's gonna like fall out. But whatever.
You have to get it put back together.
Yeah, totally.
You have like little kid pictures with a gap in your
well,
smile?
like teeth. Oh yeah, I got a ton of those. So like teeth whitening stuff. Like teeth whitening stuff, I really can't participate in because that is the color of my teeth. So it doesn't change. You know what I mean? So I have to be really careful with that because yeah, exactly. So I've had to like work hard to like keep my teeth the same color for like years. I've had it in there forever. Which is crazy.
So you didn't have braces? No braces?
No, did you?
I did. I had them for 2 years, which my I think experience with braces was not near as bad. And that's another grace because there are some kids
it's bad. Like, it's bad.
The stuff that they have to go through just to have straight teeth is insane. And like even their stuff compared to other people's is like easy peasy. Like I've seen people who like get their jaw broken and like they have reconstructive surgery. Sorry, I'm playing with a Lego as I'm talking to you. So you might hear me drop that every once in a while.
And the dog cage rattles.
Yeah, she's in her cage because I can't trust her. She's a puppy. But yeah, like to see what everybody else has to go through. Like my aunt had braces, I think, for like 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's that's too much. That's so much. That's so many dollars.
Well, what's really funny is like, so when the girls got braces, I straight up asked like the dentist, I'm like, what's up with this? Like, why do they need braces? Like, what's the deal? And
yeah, do they have crooked teeth?
Things were off. You know, I don't want to say they were like crazy crooked by any means, but like,
I mean, girl, your teeth is whack.
Yeah, not like that. But like he said, and we did some research on it, and there's some validity to it. Like, that it can cause problems like later down the road. Like, so what? Yeah, like maybe it's like, so braces for me, I always thought were like 100% aesthetic, but they're not. Like there's like, you should see the difference between Kareen's teeth when she first started to now. I mean, it is like night and day. And
really?
Yeah. And he said a lot of it is like the way she chews food is different. The way that she'll like, you know, just there were so many other different variables that we had never thought of. And I was like, oh, who knew? Like, okay.
Yeah.
And that's why you're a dentist and I'm not.
Because I don't understand. I thought it was just, to like straighten your teeth. Like, because so my teeth, I had my upper canines and those bad boys, my adult ones came in while I still have my little babies. And so I had I had 2 extra teeth that like were not coming out, like they weren't loose or anything like that.
Right.
And so I think they came loose, but they had attached the braces to the adult teeth. I don't exactly remember, but
he didn't tell you like the non-aesthetic side of it.
I mean, he probably did, but I was like 14. Like I was like,
probably didn't even pay attention.
Yeah, like I wasn't paying attention. I think I was excited, if I remember right. Like I wanted braces just because I thought that they were super cute. I wanted to have the fun, cute colored rubber bands.
Everybody hates them because it like cuts up your mouth and all this other stuff. Like
it did cut up my mouth hardcore. Because as your teeth adjust, the wires that's connecting them kind of doesn't have anywhere else to go except for like the back of your mouth, so they give you that wax.
Right.
But that doesn't really.
My girls have never needed any of that. Like I think they had a few kind of like mishaps, but there wasn't like bad cut ups in that regard.
Yeah. Anyway. I never had like the headgear or anything like that. Like I don't know, how did people sleep? If you had I want to know. Alrighty, we're starting with the
you jumping straight to audience questions.
I am, because I'm like, I want to know, did you have headgear? Like, how long did you have braces for if you had them? And Jordan wants to know on a scale of 1 to 10.
How much you hate the dentist? Because I'll tell you.
How much you hate the dentist. Jordan will let you know that you hate the dentist. Do you have any other graces with the with dentistry?
All of it. The whole 9 yards. It's so ridiculous. So... Oh man, I mean, I'm trying to figure out like how deep I want to go in this rabbit hole.
So I will say, like, it's been different watching it as a parent than having it done, which I think can be said for almost anything. Like, right. I don't know any parent who is like, oh yeah, I get to watch my kid get shots today.
Right,
Can't wait.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, what kind of sadistic problem is that?
My kids have done pretty good with that. Like, and I think it's because the dentist that we go to is so good. Like they've done a really good job of not like scarring them for life. Where I think when I was growing up, the dentist was like, sit down, shut up. Like this is gonna hurt like crazy. Like embrace it. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I like our dentist. We have a great dentist. I believe his name is Dr. Steve, and he always has like super cool Marvel shoes on, and like always like the boys like him. And we have had for as much as like my kids. Luckily, thank you God, they are for the most part healthy. Like aside from like the common cold, you know. But what they make up for that is in dentistry, because we have had so many issues with their stinking teeth. Like Owen, when he was 3, had to have a tooth pulled because his darling brother pushed him down onto the ground.
Imagine
no,
that.
he got pushed into a table, and it like knocked his bottom canine just enough, and it chipped. The root was exposed.
Oh my word.
We were trying everything that we could to like get it to be okay, because it was a baby tooth. Like he's not gonna be keeping that for another, rest of his life. It's gonna fall out. And he ended up having like an abscess that started, and so he ended up having to pull it. Have you ever seen a tooth get pulled before it is ready to get pulled?
Yeah. It's bad.
My gosh. I was not prepared. When they pulled that tooth, I almost passed out myself. I felt so bad watching.
And they're huge. They're huge.
They're so long.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. Big teeth.
Not my forte. So
the other, before I get into graceful things, which I'm gonna struggle to come up with any, like the big grease that I have is the same grease that I have with all medical side of things. It's my oldest and I were actually just talking about this, and because she has an assignment in school right now, and the assignment is, what's one right that you would like to have that we don't have right now in the United States? And I thought it was a good question. Like, and I asked her, I said, so what would yours be? And she's like, you know what? And she's only in 8th grade.
I have the right to have a great mouth.
Great teeth. She said it would be universal health care, because she said like all people should be able to have access to that. And I said, there's
we probably just lost our listeners.
Yeah, like there they go. And I understand like whether you agree with that or disagree with that, like that's not where we're landing at. So we're not picking like one of those sides. What she was saying is like she had a hard time, still does have a hard time, even after our conversation, understanding why things like the dentist and doctors, the prices are different, and why we need insurance to go to things like dentists and doctors when like we just go to the store and we just buy food. She's like, so she didn't understand, like, or like if you go to the car dealership, right? Like to buy a car or the used car lot or whatever the case is, like it's accessible and you can go buy that vehicle. And she's like, but it's not that way with medicine. Like, why isn't it that way with medicine? And I just told her straight up, I was like, I don't know, if you move to Canada, like you have free healthcare, but you also have to be a Canadian,
well, and I know somebody who from Canada, and she's talked about like with universal healthcare, it takes a long time sometimes to
get the service that you need, yeah,
because everybody, like, they're trying to fulfill everybody's needs, I guess. And
there's pros and cons to both, like, don't get me wrong, but I've always looked at the dentist and I'm like, why is there no menu? Like I don't understand that. Like
we're pulling up to McDonald's.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'll have the number 4 knee replacement.
Now, keep in mind, this is the same person talking who wants to populate the ocean. So, like, just take that as a grain of sand. But what I'm saying is, like, okay, before we hit the record button, right? Like, you're getting work done on your car, and the lady that was on the phone, because I heard your conversation, said, we do this thing with tires where, like, if you go shop around and you get a better deal, we'll match that, right?
Yeah.
So you could go out and you could call and you could say, hey, this is what I need. These are the tires. How much are the tires are, whatever the case is. And then you could formulate an Excel document and be like, here's the place that has the best price. And I feel like with healthcare, it's not that way. It's like,
no,
either you're going to go here. So like, why couldn't I, okay, like you need a tooth pulled, right? So why can't you, which I think you could. I mean, I know there's people out there like, Jordan, you could totally do that. Like, go for it. Which, okay, like that's fair. You could go quote unquote shop around. But if that's your guy, right? Like you're kind of stuck with your guy, and then you have to like figure this out, and then there's no like negotiations for it. It's just like a set price, and where did you get that price from, and why are we like in that? Like there's just so many questions that I have. It's one of those places in America where we just populate and we just pay money, and we don't ask the reason why we pay money. I just don't understand that. Like, is that negotiable?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like every time I go to the dentist, like they're like, it was this much monies, and I'm like,
this much monies.
How did you get that? Like, what's the breakdown? And they give you like, your invoice or whatever it is of how much it was. But there's sometimes
but you didn't get an option for those.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're like, here you go.
And sometimes there has been. Sometimes we've gone to the dentist and they're like, we're like, okay, like she needs braces. Like, how much is that going to cost? Or whatever the case is. And then when you pick yourself up off the floor because of how much it costs, you go, but my question is like, how did you get there? Like, you're in the food industry. Like, I just ate lunch today. It cost me like $15 to eat lunch, and I was just so dumbfounded. I'm like, how did we get here? Like, I even asked the waitress, like, how did we get to? I had a wrap. Like, how did we get to $15 for lunch?
Which I know, but that's because I'm in food service. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And so, like, it might just be like an oversight of like, because they don't necessarily, they're like, well, this is what you needed. You know what I mean? Because like I guess if in a sense they like, well, they do, they know better. They're the professionals. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And so, but yeah, they don't give you like, so here is tier number 1 of numbing medicine. This is going to be a spray that's going to wear off in 15 seconds.
Sure.
The next one is a gel that's going to last an hour. Or the next one is going to be a shot that is going to give you a little bit of pain at the beginning, but you're going to be numb through the entire procedure and then 18 hours afterward.
Yep. And you're going to talk like a duck for the rest of the day.
It's going to numb your soul. It's going to really make you.
Right. You're
going to be really hungry because you can't eat anything.
Yep.
But I know what you mean. Like, I hear what you're saying.
And I'm not asking the server at our restaurant to say, like, this is why.
How much was the lettuce?
Yeah. Like, I'm not asking her to do that because I know I can just hear people be like, what, do you do that all the time? No, I do not. Like, I don't, like, sit there and say like this is it. It's just there's some things in this world where the price is hidden, and I feel like whenever the price is hidden, it's always more expensive. And I just want to know why. Like, why is that not out in the public eye, or whatever the case is? You have to kind of like inquire. So if I had to like go to the dentist and I'm like, okay, like this is, and here's the other thing, like there's a couple of things, it's kind of like cars where there's a couple of things that's maintenance. And then there's other things like when your car breaks down, like now you have to fix that. So I never know with the dentist, like what is like precautionary and what is like absolute mandatory maintenance. Because they're like, we need
to brush my teeth every day.
That's what I'm saying.
Cautionary.
Yeah, so like I come in and I'm like, they're like, well, you need your teeth cleaned. And I'm like, I do that every day.
I washed them.
I did. I gave them a bath with soap.
Yeah. And a fancy wash sometimes. Every once in a while when I really want to get crazy, I switch some mouthwash around.
Yeah. So there's like sometimes where I'm like, huh? Like what? Like why? Like why do I need that? And maybe your dentist like explains everything to you. Like congratulations. Maybe I should start asking mine to do that.
No, we just talk about cats and music.
How's your day? Are you dizzy? I don't know why I don't tell them I'm dizzy. Like you could just come up just a hair. Can you just scoop me up? See, that's the other thing too. Oh, you got me going. So
you could get put down, not like put down. But like the gas, but I don't know.
That'd be great. So, well, like, here's the other thing too that like I think about, which is crazy to me, but so I'm not even gonna share. I'm not even gonna bring it up. I'm not even gonna bring it up.
This is gonna be another conversation for another day.
It could be. Yeah, for sure. I'll just leave it there.
All right. Well, okay. So, do you have any graces at all?
My dentist is a nice guy. I'm sure he is. Like, all the dental hygienists are sweet ladies. Like, they really are. I have nothing against you. Like, you're beautiful souls. When I'm in the room, I don't want it.
So my most recent like dental procedures, I can no longer eat crunchy things, like super crunchy things.
Oh.
And they keep telling me that I have a tight bite, and I don't know what that means other than like I don't have room for any of the extra like enamel or something. I know whoever is a dentist listening to this is like, Can you stop talking? But like whatever the filling or whatever it is, I don't have any extra room for that filling. And so it puts added pressure onto my teeth. So I'm almost biting into space that my teeth shouldn't be filling. I don't know. It's super weird. And so I can't eat super crunchy things anymore, which really stinks because I love crunchy stuff.
You were just on the Grace side of things and you went right back to Grease.
I did. But man, do I love how clean my teeth feel afterwards. Like I cannot, and I used to have, I will say another grace is like the reconstructioning that they can do that allows people to be able to like chew is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes no sense to me, but I know like there's like super big time science. And so like good on you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. I once talked to one of my other hygienists while she was giving me x-rays, and I asked her if anybody's ever like burped in her mouth, and she was like, people have burped, people have sneezed. And I'm like, ew.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and so I was like, why do you come back? And she's like, because I love what I do.
Like, see, and that's weird to me, but like,
look at that.
I think that is a grace that you need to kind of express, because I hear what you're saying. Like there is some truth to that. Like these people are dealing with crazy stuff. If I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, I'd probably like be a barber, and I've thought about that for a long time. But in the same breath, like think about the people's hair that you don't want to cut. You know what I mean? Like it's easy when your buddy's over there and he needs a good fade. Like, okay, you can hook him up. But then this dude comes in and like he hasn't washed his hair in like 4 weeks. You know what I mean? And like he hasn't taken a bath in 5 days. Like there's some of those things where you sit there and go, okay, do you really want to do this? Like,
is that grease or is that gel? Because I can't tell right now, homie, and I don't want to find out. I'll show you where the sink is. You can go and wash your hair over there.
Yeah. Like, so some of those things where like hands down to you, man. Like I'm sure you open up some mouths and just go, whoa, like this. And I'm sure there's like here's if I could point out a graceful thing, like seeing the transition from my oldest daughter right now, who started the braces route and like now is done with braces. Oh my word, night and day. Like really? Night and day. It changed her whole look. It changed her jawline because she had, a different kind of bite down. And so like there's times where I've talked to her dentist and just been like, hey, thank you, like for fixing that. Like that was a really big deal. And I don't want to use the term miracle worker, but you kind of are, like you're doing things that really are mind blowing and bending when you look at like the before and after. I'm sure my youngest daughter will have the same or similar results to that, but
because she's on her second round of braces, right? Is that what I remember seeing?
My oldest one's had them. They're off. My youngest one just got them, so she's only in like.
Did she just have like the spacer and like that's a crazy thing where you have the key and you have to turn it? Have you ever heard about that?
Yeah, we haven't done any of that. Praise the Lord. Yeah.
That is not something that I hope I ever have to deal with. Oh my Lanta, having to twist a key into some kid's mouth.
Yeah.
I feel bad for that. I mean,
yeah. They tweak them, they tweak them all the time. And so, I mean, now you just go in and they're just like, they just do like these little super duper minor adjustments. And, things are cool in that regard. But I don't know. Like this
Not
is
a lot of graces.
this is
Not a lot of
such this
graces
is like
in
one of
Jordan.
our more, I think, serious sides of things, because the healthcare world is really hard for me to wrap my mind around. It's just it's one of those things in life where I look at and I'm just like, what are we doing? You
How
know,
did we get it so wrong?
how did we get
Yeah.
here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why is there 10 car lots in our town and one dentist? You know what I mean? Like, what happened there?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I
don't know.
So interesting. Well, I think that we greased and graced it.
We
I don't
exhausted
know.
it. Are you saying we're done? Man, we've
I
never
feel
ended
like we
early.
greased
Maybe
and
it's just
graced
because
it.
we're like on the Google Meet, like things are
I
going
know.
faster.
It's weird. I've never sat this close to you.
You're always
I'm
halfway
so far
across the
away,
room.
but like, we're so right there.
Oh man, yeah. So like, and that's I think that's why, like, I don't want to go too far into it, because it will get extremely critical, and then you're gonna see some like views come out that maybe like you don't like in that regard. But I do want to communicate, like, if you're a dentist or like a dental hygienist, like, hats off to you. Like,
Good on you.
I mean, good on you. Just because I don't like to be there because of my past or things that have transpired or transpired, like, we all bring in our, like, it's a very similar. This will preach. It's very similar to a church, right? Like, some people won't come into church because like they're there and they're like, this brings up a lot of negative connotations. So I've had to get past some of that, and you can get past some of that. You can go to the dentist. You can get past some of that like negative connotation stuff, but it's still a couple of, it's still something I have to overcome a little bit. But in our neck of the woods, have you noticed how many Amish people go to the dentist?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, man.
I don't hang out. I don't know if you know this, Jordan. I don't hang out in dentist offices. Like, that's not an area that I frequent. So
maybe you should start going.
Well, do they not have Amish dentists?
No. Like, so Amish people are really big in dentists and chiropractics. Like, I've noticed that. So it is really interesting. And
because Amish people work. They gotta go to the chiropractor.
They go to chiropractor all the time.
The cracker pracker.
The cracker. Do you go to chiropractor? Do you go?
Everyone's. In fact, I actually need to go. I wonder if she's there. She's only there on like certain days, on certain times. She's phenomenal.
The one in town.
Yeah, but I have like a weird. I don't know what. I can't turn my neck any further than like looking at my shoulder. Like, I can't turn any further.
She will break you in half.
And I constantly am like trying to like kink my neck over. I am terrified to crack my neck though, because I know that can cause paralysis, and I would prefer to be able to continue to use my functioning legs and arms. So maybe I'll go over and see. Nope, I can't, because I don't have a car.
I was just gonna say,
I'm talking.
I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to be like,
I have so many plans.
So
I have so many
that.
Plans.
Yeah,
maybe they've dropped off my car because they did a pickup. I was supposed to get like an extra car to like be able to drive around.
That didn't happen.
The person didn't drop it off last night.
That's so funny.
So somebody stole their little car for a second. But I guess I'm not going there. But no, I don't see them going to the dentist a lot.
All right.
They go to the dentist and the cracker cracker.
Okay, Kim, what do you want to hear from people?
So once again, I want to hear on a scale of 0 to 10.
Yeah.
0 being I absolutely hate it.
Worst day of my life.
Yes, I would never go to there. I haven't been there, anything like that. To 10 being like, it's the best day ever. This is sunshine and rainbows.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. I want to know where you're at. I want to know, like, if you've had braces. Like, did you have braces? How long did you have braces for? Do you have pictures of you in those braces? I don't have any pictures. That was MySpace era.
Or like before and after too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be a good one if you have a before and after.
Yeah, like, what did the dentist actually do?
I wonder if we can just like hit up our dentists and be like, hey, can I get a
Give me some of your before and afters, your favorites.
I want to see what you look like with a little gap between your teeth.
Probably. I mean, you probably do a deep dive on my like Facebook photos. I'm sure there's one there.
Oh, it's on your Facebook?
I'm sure. Yeah, there's probably something there.
I don't know if I feel like diving that deep.
It is. You'd have to mine down pretty far. to get there.
Interesting. Did you have it fixed like before you got married?
Oh yeah, it's been in there forever, like long time. I think like high school on. So
dang.
Yeah, it's been there for full minute.
There's no way that you have pictures that old on your Facebook.
Sure I do.
Remember the conversation that we had about social media? That was Zanga days. That was.
I always put I usually throw up like old pictures like and stuff like that every now and again, like just for fun. So I mean, you upload some of that.
It's for funsies.
I would like to know if you like the dentist, like what part you like. If you don't like the dentist, what part you don't like. Like get really specific.
Grind my teeth.
Oh goodness.
I don't know why. I grind my teeth at night too, so it could be something like that. Like
one of those people.
I like the pressure. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
I like the sound. I like the way that it sounds in my head. Oh, I love it. Like I do. Like I'm like, yes.
All right, Kim, tell people what we got coming up.
So we are in the month of October. We're gonna have some interesting conversations. We will be talking about Halloween eventually. We'll
get there.
The next week though, we are going to be talking. This is gonna be a really interesting one. We're gonna be talking about celebrity culture.
Oh, bring it on! You think me and healthcare got issues?
So we're gonna be talking about celebrity culture, and I've actually just like because I needed to like wind down over the past like couple of days because it's just been like big thinking kind of days for me, and so I just started watching a documentary of like the downfall of a really prominent hip hop star.
Oh.
And that's fascinating.
Interesting.
So
celebrity culture is kind of fascinating. Like there's so many greasy and graceful sides of things.
Is. It's so interesting to me. And so that's what we're going to be talking about next week. And then I don't know. I'm going to run a couple topics by you, not in front of all of our listeners, because I want to pick your brain before we put these into play.
Yeah. So we got a schedule coming up. I mean, this is kind of a cool season because you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, like those big things. And then, some people probably are wondering, like, are you going to do this like every single year? No. Like, what's going to happen is we mine down into those because, like, we can talk about that topic, like, as a whole. Like, for example, we just talked about the dentist, today or whatever. But there's little spots in that you can definitely go. Yeah, you can go a bit deeper really in that regard, for sure. So, so we covered, the greasy side, the graceful side of dentistry. Life is messy, but you know what? You got to participate. You can't just sit on the, sidelines and pretend like, your team's not playing, because you need to get in the game and make things happen. But don't forget
Coach.
Don't forget to share your thoughts with us. Man, we love hearing from you guys. I think some people out there are a little hesitant on tapping that, response button. So hit us up. Here's a couple of ways that maybe you haven't thought about that you can hit us up on. We podcast on YouTube, so you can post a comment on our YouTube video, which is the audio of our podcast that is on YouTube, so you can do that. You can also leave us a comment on any post that we have on Facebook, as well as Instagram. And then the best way, obviously, is greaseandgracepod@gmail.com. So feel free to shoot us an email or hit us up at greaseandgracepod.com, which is our website.
Which will give you links to all of it.
All of it's there. So, and if you got suggestions, future topics, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, hey, what about this? Well, hey, drop us a line. There's a good, opportunity for you to hit us up.
We'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, we'll give you a shout out. We'll give you credit. We'll give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Rate, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your family, play it for your dog that's in a cage.
She's sleeping now. She's bored with our conversation.
She's like, man, you got to put me to sleep. Let me tell you something, puppy. You're not the only one.
But anyways, most importantly, make sure that you listen and come back every single Monday.
Absolutely. So until we talk next time, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you real soon.
Later.
Bye.